him to give us an insight into why we are all vice members and
Mr. Dan, we can't hear you. I don't know if it's from my end.
No,
Dan, you are off.
Maybe his network. Daniel is not online.
It's network.
I'm sure
it should be his network.
He has joined back. He has joined back.
Okay, Dan, continue. Hello, Dan, can you hear? Sorry, what's the next on agenda?
The next on agenda is supposed to be the citation of the speaker, which should be anchored by you, Mr. Tolu.
It's okay.
Tolu, before you go that, can you just complete what Dan was doing so we can just take up from there?
What Dan was doing was just to welcome you and introduce this webinar. And in the process of that, this is Bise webinar, and it's in the essence of why it is necessary to be a Bise member. And we have no other person for this. So for this day's webinar, you're all welcome. The chairman probably at the location he is, the network is bad. Yeah. So the network is bad. So let me take the citation of our presenter for today as the next thing on the agenda. Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel Wolfen. We welcome you to this webinar. We are very delighted that you are taking up this challenge. Mr. Emmanuel Wolfen has been in HSC profession for over a decade. And I tell you, he has worked in various of industries, vary from mining to oil and gas to energy, and currently is in higher education. Mr. Winful holds a Bachelor of Science in Biochemistry, a Master of Public Health, and a Master of Industrial and System Engineering from Auburn University. He is a certified professional and the 2022 Safety Scholar from National Association of Black Compliance and Risk Management Professionals. Mr. Winful is passionate about EHS. It reflected in his career and volunteer roles. He is the administrator for SSP Blacks in Safety Excellence and also serves on various National Safety Council Division Program committees, both in young professional, business, and industry. As a leader, mentor, and educator in this essential field, Mr. Winful devotes his experience and commitment to improving the overall state of the EHS profession. And this evening, we have the singular honor that is here to tell us what advantages we need to derive being a member of Black in Safety profession. So please join me to welcome Mr. Emmanuel Winfield as our speaker for tonight. You are welcome on board.
Thank you so much, Tolu, for the introduction.
Welcome.
And
welcome on board. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Let me see if I can share my screen. Share the screen. All right, are you all able to see the screen? All right. So thanks once again for the opportunity and then also the ability to talk to you all about Bise. I'm the administrator for Bise, and I've been in this role starting in June and July. I was the assistant administrator for the last leadership cycle and currently in the role of the administrator. And so today I want to kind of share with you mainly some of the opportunities for being a Bise member and the essence and value of belonging to Bise as part of one of the common interest groups within ASSP. And so today I'm going to share with you why workplace diversity is important and some of the challenges when diversity is not really present. And then also some of the challenges that really resulted in the creation of Bise as a common interest group within ASSP, and some of Bise objectives and how you all can get involved as members of the Bise common interest group. And so to kick it off, I want to talk about, workplace diversity. And it really is, an environment where in the workplace that you find individuals with unique characteristics. It could be people with different, coming from different race and ethnicity, people with, you find yourself in an environment where there is, different gender, age, people with different physical abilities, right now with the generational gaps and also different socioeconomic status, nationality, religion, and culture. And when you have yourself in that kind of environment, it helps you to be able to thrive. It helps you to be able to gain different perspectives. It helps you to be able to kind of, become the better you, because you are able to take on and assimilate all of the different perspectives that it comes along. When you find yourself in an environment where there's not much diversity, it limits your growth. It limits the ability for you to be able to make an impact. And one of the things that, lack of diversity, and as we can right now know, is globalization, and companies are all over the world. Companies are not just located in one country or geographic region. And also with that, it helps with the immigration and migration of people to different countries and continents. Specifically here in the US, when we look at the US workforce, about 77% of that is whites, and then about 13% coming from Department of Labor. Explains that 13% of that is Blacks and Asians. And then also about 6% of that is Asians, and then American Indians makes up about 1% of that. Now, one of the things that we have seen is that even though minorities, specifically Blacks, Asians, and Indian Alaskan natives make up a small percentage of the US workforce, and I think this can actually also be replicated in other continents and other geographic regions as well. Minority groups are the most affected when it comes to injuries and disabilities. And one of the several studies has been done to really kind of try to understand why that is the case. And what came out from those kind of studies indicates that disparity in economic opportunities is one of the contributing factors, mainly because there isn't a lot of opportunities, and the opportunities that are there is hard to get. And so minorities tend to take on higher risk jobs that's leading them to, become a lot more likely to be injured. And when they get injured too, they have a higher chance of being on a disability. Additionally, due to some, cultural differences and misunderstandings, sometimes too, there is a discriminatory basis for people being assigned the job when they're on the job, or being assigned to certain high risk types of task, and that's leading them to more likely to make them injured on the job as well. And then one other factor being that poor working conditions, when there is no diversity and understanding of the differences within the workplace. So that's really one of the issues that, lack of diversity and its implications are. One thing that we also kind of looked at is that within the EHS profession as a whole, Safety and Health Magazine, which is the magazine for National Safety Council, every year does a survey trying to kind of get an understanding of what is the survey, gaining an idea from a workforce standpoint to salary to educational, trying to gain an understanding of what the EHS profession is made up of. And so they send it out, and it gets out of that information, we see that about 80% of EHS profession are made up of whites and or Caucasians, as is indicated here. And about 7% of that is made up of Africans, Afro-Caribbeans, or Black African Americans. And then the percentage kind of goes down as you look at the different racial and ethnic groups as well. And so this is very reflective of how the US workforce is. And it is in as much as, going back, talking about the injury levels, in as much as that, whites and Caucasians are also getting injured, it is very sad, especially in the Department of Labor statistics that came up last year, where about 941 Blacks were actually injured on the job, and which was almost about 21% increase. So when you look at a workforce that makes up about 13%, and they have a higher injury and death rates, then there is definitely a problem. And so that's why we kind of want to figure out why that is a problem, and also to kind of make sure that there can be some solutions to that. And so what some of the studies have identified, as I mentioned earlier, some of the barriers to safety is that there is typically some disparity in language and training strategy, because you might not even be able to, come to the understanding of the cultural differences and be able to explain certain concepts. And then also policies and lack of advocacy sometimes leads to harassment when some people bring up topics and issues, job insecurity. And so those are some of the challenges and some of the issues, both within the EHS and then also within the workforce. And so that brings in what, brings up Bise. And so Bise was actually, started back in 2007 during the ASSE, at the time, American Society of Safety Engineers, now American Society of Safety Professionals, PDC in Orlando, Florida. And it took a group of Black safety professionals, about 4 to 5 Black safety professionals, Patricia Reed, and Tyler, and a lot of other safety professionals, to sit down and start having discussions about, we need to do something about increasing the number of Black safety professionals in the field. And not only that, but to be able to be an advocate for that. And so they petitioned, wrote a proposal to ASSP, and then November of that same year, Blacks in Safety Engineering was approved to be a common interest group within ASSE at the time. Now, fast forward a year later, another conference that was happening, we were able to have our first meeting, and that was made up of, a group of just 4 or 5 Black safety professionals to about 50 members. Now, Bise within ASSP is made up of almost about 750 members since its inception from that time. As you all know, ASSE went through a name change back in 2017 and 2018. And so that along required that we also change our name from Blacks in Safety Engineering to Blacks in Safety Excellence. And that is how, we came about. Now, with our establishment and our being part of as a common interest group within ASSP, our purpose and that main reason, as I mentioned earlier, is really being committed to advancing people of color in the safety profession. And we hope to be able to kind of do that mainly to providing a forum where we can have some positive experiences where, the Black safety professional can be able to network, gain the support that they need, provide opportunities for education, mentorship, and be able to also share information and ideas such that we can be able to elevate ourselves, we can be able to grow in our career and our professional endeavors as well. So that's really what the essence of Bise is. Out of those purpose and mission of Bise, we kind of broke down back in 2007 and 2008 when Bise was established, was mainly to look at these 8 areas. Provide opportunities for education and professional skills as a way that we can be better educated to make sure that in our respective spaces, we have the ability to control accidents, fatalities, and losses that might impact Blacks and everybody within our workforce. And then also providing networking opportunities. And so that was really kind of very important. And then also having a forum where we can have open discussions to share ideas, information that supports and develops the Black safety profession. Not only that, but also providing mentoring opportunities for the new Black safety professionals, and then also those seeking to grow and advance their career in the occupational safety and health profession. One of the things that was part of our objectives, and we've not really kind of tapped into it, and we are making efforts this year and subsequent leadership years, is to really more from the outreach and recruiting standpoint. And what I mean by that is, as we know that there is only a very small, about 7%, and right now I think the latest is almost less than about 4% EHS professionals that are Blacks. So we need to really do more advocacy. We need to do more outreach to make sure that new and young professionals that are looking for careers know that EHS is a profession that they can actually be successful in. And so we are looking for opportunities where we can be able to network with universities to make sure that they understand that this is a path that they can actually be able to explore. Additionally, one of the objectives is to address issues that has to do with safety and cultural diversity in the workplace, and then also within a workforce as well, because the more you have representation, the more you have varied opinions, and you have a better policy that can actually capture the essence of the workforce. And so that's really one of the objectives of Bise. And additionally, also kind of looking at ways to foster communication and recognition. Because we are made up of a small percentage in the EHS profession and within the workforce, we need to be able to look internally and recognize ourselves and advocate for ourselves such that we can be recognized, we can be seen, and to be able to, and it allows and makes it opportunity for us to be able to gain greater opportunities when we don't have the masses advocating on our behalf. Also, Bise has explored areas where we have been able to raise funds to support individuals that were seeking certification or were seeking educational opportunities and had opportunities to provide them with some type of scholarship. And so those were some of the things that Bise have been doing over the years. And we are continually trying to foster those objectives and make sure that we are continually meeting our mission and objectives. So out of those 8 objectives, over time, Bise has actually kind of, compressed that into 4 specific areas, and it's really education and training, mentorship opportunities, making sure that all of Bise webinars and professional developments come with some level of continuing education credits, such that if you have certification, if you have some educational requirements, you can actually apply those to those certification points to allow you to renew your certifications in the future. And then networking opportunities and collaboration. So I'm going to talk about all of these 4 areas and how that actually can benefit you as a Bise member. And so the first thing that I'm going to be discussing about is really more on networking and collaboration and how you as a Bise member can tap into that and benefit from it. So when we talk about networking, what we really kind of mean is that having the process of interacting with others to exchange information and then develop your professional and social contacts. It's really not necessarily just kind of sending a LinkedIn connection or sending a Facebook connect request. it goes beyond that. It is where you actually have to be able to cultivate. You have to be able to, build that professional relationship to make sure that there is some kind of, give and take in the process, exchange of information, right? And so just mainly connecting with that individual on LinkedIn is not enough. You have to be able to have that social network. And then also one of the things that Bise is very kind of passionate about is really more on our mentoring and mentorship process. And when we talk about mentoring for Bise, it's really kind of looking at where we can have a working relationship or some kind of working alliance where individuals, we work together over time to support our partnership, either from a personal and professional growth development and ensuring that we have success through, our career and psychosocial support. It's not necessarily just benefiting from the opportunities to grow and having direction in your career, but then also having someone that can actually, be able to support you emotionally whenever you have some challenges in the workplace or even in your personal life. And so with that, I want to kind of talk about some of the benefits and how Bise is kind of leading in creating opportunities for that. And so all of us in our professional, and the reason we joined ASSP, the reason we're part of the Nigerian chapter, and the reason we are part of Bise is really to have the opportunity that when we are looking for our next step, when we are looking for our next job, we have a place to connect. And it is known that 70% of jobs it's hard to find jobs, and 70% of jobs, most jobs are hidden unless you really kind of know somebody, right? And then one of the things is, looking at some of the statistics that is out there, 65 and to about 85% of jobs are found through networking. And that is coming from the Harvard Business School. LinkedIn also says that about 70 to 80% of new jobs were obtained through networking. And then US Bureau of Labor Statistics says that about 70% of jobs are found through networking. Now, mind you, the EHS professional or the Black safety professional, it makes up about 7%. And so we need to really kind of take advantage of this opportunity to make sure that we are making connections to the people that we know within our span, and then also look expanding out and making connection with the people that are within ASSP and other practice specialties as well. So ultimately, the benefits of connection is really not who do you know, but then really who knows you. And typically from the connection standpoint is you look internally within your family and friends, but the biggest portion of that is who can actually lead you to you getting to know somebody. And so for Bise, what we try to do is make sure that we provide a platform such that we can be able to build strong personal and professional relationships. We provide this and that, these strong professional relationships as a result of our networking opportunities can accelerate you to gain your career and allow you to be able to gain valuable insights and support. And then also to be able to learn from others that have already, experienced some of the things you're already experiencing, so that you can actually relate, right? If you find yourself in an environment with like-minded individuals, you are better able to relate, and so you gain the experiences and then the directions that is going to benefit you. So in what ways has Bise actually provided these opportunities? We do provide these opportunities, and as we have Madam President's picture there. We do provide these opportunities through sometimes during our professional development conferences throughout Bise establishment. We provide opportunities for in-person connection where we get to be able to meet with fellow Bise members, talk to them, share contacts, be able to share your experiences, your challenges, opportunities that you are looking for. And if they have the opportunity to connect you to someone or introduce you to someone, that is a great avenue. And so if you are able to attend PDC, always look for those social events where Bise is meeting so that you can be able to be in a room, being in an environment where you can connect with some like-minded individuals that can relate with some of the challenges and the things that you are experiencing. Additionally, we have over time also had opportunity, online networking events such as these, where we get to be able to talk to each other. We get to be able to share some of the initiatives that Bise is actually coming up with. We have games, we have some interactive exercises to be able to really use that as an opportunity to network. We break ourselves into small groups during those sessions, and we use that time to be able to share contacts, identify individuals that find themselves in certain geographic locations, so that even beyond the virtual networking opportunities, they can actually be able to reach out to each other and connect from there. So we are continually doing these activities to make sure that you, as a Bise member, you can benefit from that. Not only that, but also, as you know, Madam CJ Walker says that don't sit down and wait for opportunities to come, but you have to be able to get out and make them yourself. And so Bise is continually making these opportunities out, but we advocate that our members also jump in and tap into it, because the more you tap into it, the more you get involved, the more you get the benefits out of your membership from either ASSP, the Nigerian chapter, or Bise in general. One of the things that we also do is through our mentorship program, as I kind of talked earlier, where we connect early career individuals to individuals that are seasoned in the profession, that might have experienced some of the things that you may face in your career going forward. And these are some of the highlights. Sometimes, you know, our mentees will send out thanks from the ways that we were able to connect them to other seasoned professionals. And this is Gary Matthews, and he's been able to train almost about 10 plus Bise members, and all of these individuals have actually also been able to be successful in their career, some in directors in construction environments, or establishing their own businesses or consulting businesses. So it speaks to us that these mentorship and mentee connections that we are making within Bise is actually being successful, and is actually making a difference in the lives of people that are becoming part of Bise. To also help our members, we do over time partner with recruiting agencies, and one of the recruiting agencies that we've worked consistently with is Shirley Parson. Shirley Parson is a global recruiting agency that hires EHS professionals. And so one of the things that, knowing that they are global, is better it helps us to be able to present to our members what these agencies, what these recruiting firms are looking for. And so we've worked in several opportunities, such as job hunting and how to actually virtual interviewing during a pandemic, resume workshops and interview tips, changing careers, pivoting into EHS. Maybe you may be doing something different. You were into engineering, and now you want to come into EHS, or maybe you were doing something totally different, risk assessment or risk management, or you were even in finance, and now you want to come into EHS, or you were just a frontline employee, not involved with safety, but you were taking safety training, and now you want to actually step into safety as a career. We provided those opportunities where these recruiters talk to you about how you can actually have that opportunity. And not only that, but then it gives you a contact with these recruiters such that they can also have that one-on-one interaction with you. If you send them your resume, they can provide you with some feedback on what to be able to look for. So those are some of the opportunities that we provide to our members. And once again, it's all about you taking the time to tap into these opportunities whenever we make those dates available on our social media web pages, and registering for those times as well. One of the things that I know was one of the challenges is the time that Bise always has its webinars, mainly due to the time differences. And that's something that we are continually trying to explore, ways that Bise and the Nigerian chapter can really be able to make sure that there is some ways that we all can benefit as part of our membership in Bise. I want to talk about education, because that's also one of the things that is very important. And I have this picture here that is representative of some Blacks that not in the EHS profession, but as leaders that have been able to kind of make it to the top. And it's always important sometimes to always look at individuals that have been able to kind of make it to the areas that we aspire and hope, and some days we can be able to attain. And these are all CEOs at very Fortune 500 and big corporations. And one of the things that is very significant in their foundation and help them to really kind of get to those points is their education. And so education is really important. And I would advocate that, in as much as we have very small, percentage in the workforce, you have to always try to make sure that you have enough, you've attained the educational background to be able to justify your ability, because which sometimes it shouldn't be the case, but it is always the case where you have to be able to prove your worth, right? And so we can see here how these individuals, through education, were able to build their foundation to be able to show that they have the educational background to be in the positions that they have. But not only that, but there are some key things that we can also really learn from these individuals, these individuals, that they have a strong educational background. They had strong mentors. When they experience drawbacks through their connections with their strong mentorship and their foundation, they were able to gain the insights and ways that they can be able to develop. They develop the reputation from personal integrity, and then also be able to, work towards building themselves up. So we kind of want us to really learn from these individuals. And as part of Bise, that's one of the things that we advocate, and we help to push our members, because we are a community. I want us to see ourselves as a community, as a family. We are in the mission of Bise is really promoting the Black safety profession. Without it, Bise doesn't really function, and that Bise wouldn't really exist. We are all about promoting the Black safety professional. And so it is really important that we seek ways and opportunities to promote and advance the Black safety professional. Some of the ways that we have through education has been through webinars. We always offer webinar sessions. We send out surveys to our members annually, asking our members, what topics would you want to learn? What new things are you experiencing within your workplace that you think that Bise can actually help to get a subject matter expert on, to make sure that you are gaining the knowledge that is really needed to sustain you and make you the best within the work in your specific workplace. Additionally, we also have open forums where sometimes it's just pretty much a topic that is really kind of facing all Bise members, and we bring in open subject matter experts to kind of look at ways that we can all have an open discussion about it, and just kind of help to guide us towards a direction that can benefit us from a practical skills and knowledge standpoint. We also, as I mentioned earlier, all of our webinars, open forums comes with continuing education credits. We also have a big push for our members to seek, certification. And we have hosted and we have done study sessions, and we have provided opportunities for individuals that were trying to sit down for ASSP or CSP, where we partner with other practice specialties or other common interest groups to make sure that we can all come together, have a study session, learn, and make sure that we can be successful whenever we sit for those kind of certification exams. And Bise hopes to be able to continually do that. One thing that as I talked earlier on our outreach, and we are going to be working on doing that, is reaching out to universities and here locally in the US, mostly, HBCUs, historically Black colleges and universities, to kind of find out ways that we can be able to introduce the EHS professions to Black students that are not considering safety as a profession, or environmental or industrial hygiene as a profession, because there is some benefits to it. So these are just examples of some of the webinars that over time we've been able to organize. One that we did with the Nigeria chapter was Ready, Set, Global, where we talked about, as a EHS profession, if you want to be an expert where you travel to different geographic locations to, perform certain job duties, how can you be successful in that? And we had a seasoned expert that is for Exxon Mobil that has traveled to different continents, not just countries, different continents and different places. And actually, I think at the time she was based in Guinea, Bissau. And so, she had actually lived in Nigeria before. So she was able to really kind of bring those perspectives and share some really good nuggets of information that was going to be very helpful to anyone that was considering, being a global EHS professional. One thing that we've also kind of talked about in psychosocial hazards and psychosocial safety being a thing that is really kind of impacting the workforce, especially after the post-pandemic. Dr. David Daniels, he's a subject matter expert in that, and he's distinguished himself on the topic. And so he was able to kind of bring in very vital information. And we always want to celebrate, the accomplishment of Black safety women professionals that have been able to kind of make it to higher level careers as senior vice presidents or vice president in Fortune 500 corporations. And so we kind of assemble them together to look at how did they get to that level? What were some of the challenges? What are some of the tips and information that they can give to the young safety professional that is aspiring, to be at that role or at that position in the future? These are also some webinars that we've hosted. We looked at industrial hygiene, we looked at D&I and how it impacts the Black safety profession. That was really an open forum and a panel discussion. We've had opportunities to kind of talk about mental health, leadership. We have so many opportunities, and I would advocate, if you've not tapped into these resources and opportunities, please do so, because it's really helps to build your knowledge worth and make you, a good safety professional all around. As I made mention earlier, by scholarships, we do work through our members to fund by scholarships, where every year, it helps to guarantee that, at least one Black student that applies for a scholarship has the higher probability of getting a scholarship to support their educational endeavors or certification or professional endeavors as well. One of the things we also do with a small percentage of EHS professionals is to be able to recognize ourselves when we make a difference, right, in our career. So over time, we do have vice member spotlights, where it is an opportunity for us to showcase yourself on our social media pages, and is on LinkedIn, Facebook, is on Instagram. And we have it's not just bias members, it allows for, any individual through our page to be able to see you and how your journey and the success and your achievements and accomplishments. So these are some of the ways that we recognize our members. So one of the things that I kind of want to say is that, the benefits of being a bias member is very comprehensive. You gain access to a supportive community, professional development, recognition, validation, from individuals that look and look like you, advocacy for diversity and inclusion. So how do you become a bias member, right? Bias membership is really kind of start off first as an ASSP member, and then you have to also select as part of a common interest group or practice specialty where you become a bias member. If you are not a bias member now, over time, we do membership drives, and please look out for those. Last year, we did a membership drive between December and the 1st to the 31st, where we kind of, it waives that $20 fee of becoming a bias member. And so that is, we give you a promo code, and that allows you to be able to use that to waive that membership fee requirement. And so these are some of the, comments, and these are some of the comments that our Bise members are letting us know, that it provides them the opportunity to mentor individuals that need the support, give guidance, network, right? Share similar cultural backgrounds, goals, struggles. Bise members, being in that community, people that look like you are facing the same challenges as you, helps you, and that have been able to kind of make part, overcome those challenges and barriers, can help you better understand and ways that you can also navigate that path. Another, comment from our Bise member is that, Bise is a great resource, right? For EHS professional of color. It provides me with access to high performing and experienced professionals of color who I can seek out as a resource in achieving my professional goals and work tasks. Beautiful. So this is a great way that Bise is supporting our members. One of the other ways that I also kind of want to let you all know as Bise members is that beyond your membership, beyond you just kind of checking off the box that I want to be part of Bise, you have to be involved. And there are so many throughout the year, we provide opportunities for you to be involved. And that is you volunteering to serve in some kind of role, either in our community, as I talked to you about. We have so many things that we as a group want to be able to achieve, right? We want to grow the profession. We want to increase the number of EHS professionals for Blacks. We want to make sure that we are advocating and recognizing ourselves. If you go on the ASSP webpage and you look at the number of fellows, there is a limited number of Blacks that are being recognized as fellows. And I say we've done a lot as EHS professionals. Our seasoned professionals needs to be recognized for their impact in the profession. How many Blacks have been recognized as safety professionals of the year? You go on the website, take a look at it. It's very limited. And it's all because we are not advocating for ourselves. We are not supporting. And that is what Bise hopes to be able to change, to make sure that we are being recognized for the change, the contributions that we are making in the EHS. So volunteer, be involved. If Bise makes a call and you are a Bise member, don't hesitate. Dedicate a few hours of your time and help us make that difference. So ways that you can connect with Bise is, start off really on our social media pages. Please scan the QR code if you are not part of any of the Bise social media pages, and that gives you the ability firsthand to be able to tap into Bise, know what Bise is doing, know what is coming up through Bise, and be a part of Bise so that we can make a difference. So thank you so much for your time. And if you have any questions, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have in the process.
Thank you very much, Iman.
Well, thank you all so much.
Hello, Daniel, sorry, on the chat, there's a question. Can you read it out for him?
Okay.
Yes, so with your question, we're identifying authentic links to jobs available with organizations. When you say organization, are you referring to the ASSP webpage on their job platform, or are you referring mainly to just job platforms in general?
Well, I don't know who raised that question. If the person is online, can you throw more light on it, please?
The guy's name is Gabriel.
Well, one of the things that I can say,
maybe we can just give a general answer.
All right, yeah. What I can say is that when you go on the ASSP webpage, they do have a job portal where those links are verified before ASSP puts them on their web pages. When I was talking earlier about Shirley Parson, so if you have to go directly on Shirley Parson's webpage and see the the jobs that they've kind of provided. if there is any job post that is telling you to pay a fee to before you can be able to, you know, apply, then that is really not a valid job post, right? So you always want to be careful. There is always going to be those as well. And so if you see any job post that is asking you to pay a fee to be introduced to somebody, then that is not a valid post. Probably somebody looking to take advantage of you in that form. Sometimes buys on our social media pages, we will get notifications and people will tell us, hey, I have this job or there is this opportunity. And knowing that individual, we will post it on our social media pages to all of our members that might be interested in those job posts as well. So that's a way for us to be able to do that. Now, Jamaica, so there isn't a Bise local chapter with the North Carolina. There isn't a Bise group within the North Carolina chapter. There is, however, the New Jersey chapter that has a local Bise liaison. Julian, who is our Bise coordinator, is working to kind of make sure that we can help to create Bise chapters within the chapter levels as well, and he'll be getting in touch with all the area directors and the presidents for those regions to make sure that at least there can be some considerations for that. Yes, Kingsley.
Okay, thank you very much, Emmanuel. Very, very interesting what Bise has in stock for everybody. My concern is, you know, being a safety professional has a lot to do with hands-on experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there a way Bise can now, because there are a whole number of people who are interested in being safety professionals, but the opportunity to have hands-on experience is not there, so to say. I have a background from the oil and gas. There are too many things you cannot achieve in safety if you don't have a hands-on experience regarding oil and gas. Am I communicating? In like manner in construction, in all the fields, they're almost everywhere. Where Bise can only get people mental background in certain industries, construction, oil and gas, aviation, and so on, so that they will also have an opportunity to
Yeah. So Kingsley, I think I get the
something that has to. I'm talking from a personal experience.
Yeah, thank you, Kingsley. Yeah, so if I understand you, is there a way that Bise can provide opportunities for members to get hands-on experience? One of the ways that Bise has kind of looked at that is through our mentorship program. As always, it kind of starts, you know, with you getting into as an entry level and learning the profession, right? You have to be able to go in as an entry level, or sometimes you have to go in as a intern or as a co-op to be able to learn the profession. And so one of the things that I would advocate if there is any individual and following those transferable skills, because when we did our pivoting into EHS through Shirley Parson, one of the things that they did stress a lot about is those transferable skills. Even in as much as you may want to go into oil and gas and maybe you don't have an oil and gas background, safety is safety. It's just that the application may be a little different. And so you have to be able to make sure that those transferable skills that apply into the oil and gas or aviation sector you can make sure that that is represented on your resume whenever you apply for those jobs. So just having a generic resume wouldn't really kind of cut it, right? You have to try to tailor that resume and showcase those transferable skills that is needed in that industry that you are considering. One of the other ways that I think can also help is through our mentorship, where you are identifying somebody that is already working in those fields to be able to guide you on what maybe certifications or maybe certificate courses that you need to take to make sure that you have the necessary background. So here in the United States, we have the OSHA 10 and 30-hour courses where if somebody wanting to go into construction can go take that 30-hour construction certificate course, and that gives them a very broad understanding of what the construction industry looks at. And so if they apply for an entry-level job or maybe a technician or coordinator level position, they have that background and they have that understanding of what kind of standards, what kind of regulations pertain to that particular industry that they want to go in. And, you start off, especially if you are not, in that industry, is always advised to kind of, go in at an entry-level role. And then once you build that foundation and experience, you can be able to progress from there. Yes, Jamaica.
Hi, so I'm actually new to safety. I've been in safety for 1 year. I graduated from Eastern Kentucky University. And my first job, still my job, is in construction. There's a lot of people that I work with that comes from oil and gas, that comes from the government, private sector side. And as far as them adjusting, like you said, safety is safety. So really, I can say, and what I've asked around is every construction job or industry is different, but yes, safety is the same as long as you follow whatever safety plan or program that they have in place. I mean, I think you would be fine. But I also feel like it's who you know to a certain extent to get to the next big job.
Yes.
So
yes. Yeah, that is so true.
So I was wondering, does Bise provide forums where people can come and talk to people from different industries and kind of be able to network and pick each other's brains of their experience and how they got into the specific industry that they got into? Because I know construction was actually going through school and being able to see the different types of industries I can get into. Construction definitely was my last choice, but I went through ASSP, and my mentor in Georgia, she was like, hey, we have this internship coming up for Jacobs Engineering, so just try it out and see. And yeah, I went from there. But I would definitely love to be able to have that space where I can talk to people that looks like me, that's been in the industry, just in safety in general, to kind of get their experiences, because on my site alone, I'm the only Black female. So I have to work like 1,000 times. I don't say I have to work 1,000 times harder, but I feel like I have more pressure and eyes on me because I am the only one.
Yeah, and you have to prove yourself, which is always the demand, right? Yeah. So yes, Bise do provide opportunities for networking. Unfortunately, since Bise is more of a virtual community, and the only time that we get to be able to meet in person is, during the PDC, but we do provide virtual networking opportunities where we kind of pretty much meet to, talk and just have it's not a scripted, meeting session. Sometimes it's just, having an organic conversation, breaking individuals into small groups with just some few prompts to kind of start the conversation going. So just look forward to those. We will be having those coming up, if not this rest of the year, early part of next year, we will be having networking sessions. So please look forward to those. We'll post those flyers out and just register for those. We do also have our mentorship program. So if you can just send me an email through membership. Let me put it in the chat. Membership at bise.assp.org. Yeah, just send me an email through that, and I can connect you with our mentorship chair to kind of look at ways that they can help you, connect you with someone that is in the construction field, and be able to help you start the conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. When next
Yeah.
are we having any mentorship program?
So the mentorship program is ongoing. We haven't really. We just had a leadership change, and so the new mentorship chair is slowly trying to kind of figure out how they can start re-implement the program. And his name is Kenneth. Let me put his name in the chat as well. And he's going to start that as well. And so, like I said, if anyone is looking for a mentorship, you can go on the ASSP webpage. Let me just show you, pull that up, and I'll share that with everybody. When you go on the ASSP Bise webpage, I'm going to share my screen shortly and then just show everybody. Let me share my screen quickly and then. Yeah, so this is when you go onto the ASSP.org page, let me just walk everybody through it quickly. So when you go onto the ASSP main page, ASSP.org, you come down here to membership, and then under membership, you go down to communities, and there is a variety in practice specialties and communities, but under communities, that takes you to the common interest group under ASSP. And under ASSP, we have the Blacks in Safety Excellence Common Interest Group. We have Hispanics in safety. We have women in safety excellence. So on the bottom page, this is where, Bise mentorship program is, and we have the information on how you can actually submit your name and information if you're seeking to a mentor or mentee, and you can, if you can put in some few information in here just to give us an idea of where you're coming from, your background and all, and who you want to be connected with. So like going back, Jamaica, like you mentioned, you would want to be connected to a Black safety professional in a construction field. You can specifically indicate that on the form here when you submit it, to make sure that whenever Bise and ASSP makes those connections, you are partnered with someone that you would want to be partnered with.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the
Next on our
question
agenda,
is mentorship program that covers culture change management. Are you talking more from a topic or training standpoint, or mainly are you referring to like a mentor? Because the mentorship program, is, to me, is partnering with an individual that can help you through just kind of navigating the process, your career or some tough situation. So if you looking out for a mentor that can help you navigate some of the challenges, then definitely I would recommend you connect, through the Bise mentorship, so that we can find you someone that can actually be able to support you in that challenges that you are facing. If it is more of a webinar topic to kind of navigate, cultural barriers within the workplace, we definitely kind of explore ways we can find a speaker that can speak to that topic as well. So those are something that we can be able to try to find a speaker that D&I, we have the DE&I experts, and that can maybe talk on that topic as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Hima,
Thank you all so much
for the presentation and answering all our questions. We really appreciate you. We cannot get it better than the administrator himself. Thank you very much. Okay, our next program will be coming up next month, and that will be in your presentation. You said that we should celebrate ourselves, appreciate ourselves. So from our end, our next month program is going to be membership milestone recognition, where we are going to be celebrating members that are 5 years and above with a certificate of appreciation. The invite is going to be sent out when everything is ready. So just watch out. Members that are qualified for that appreciation, we get an invite and a letter to join. Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much. And I just want to say we have our Bise social media chair on the line as well, Jason Bryant. And so thank you, Jason, for the support and being here. So he does a great job, putting up all of the flyers. So just thank you so much.
Okay, Jesse, thank you very much for all you do for Bise, both internationally and locally. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. And for taking time to join this webinar. We really appreciate you too.
And Mr.
Madam
Dan, please,
President,
someone's hands up. Yeah, someone's hand up. Mr.
Okay.
Isama's hand is up.
Hello, thank you very much. My name is Isa Mohammed, even though I'm calling from Canada right now. You actually talked about the social media handle, which some of us will be very interested to join so that we can get first-hand information on what's happening on Bise. So please, can you display the QR code again so that some of us can scan and then be part of it so that we can learn and keep following things?
Let me put it up again. Yes, are you all able to see it?
Yeah, thank you. We can see it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's fine. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And then let me so that the president can talk as well. I will put the flyer in the chat, so anybody that wants to be able to download it, they can also do that.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Emmanuel, thank you so much for taking our time and giving us more insight to the benefit of being a Bise member. Thank you for always trying to reach out to us, even though we call at a very limited time and you share your knowledge with us. We really appreciate you. And for every member that is here too, thank you for taking our time to be here. Even though we still had our meeting this morning and you're here again, thank you so much. It's been a busy day, but you still took out time to be here. Even our guests too that are here, thank you for joining us. And we look forward to hearing and even seeing you too in Nigeria, Emmanuel. So please just check your calendar for us because we need to hear from you physically.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much. And for
Yeah.
other Bise members too that are here, the executive, they appreciate you. Thank you so much. I will look forward to collaborating more and doing more to the benefit of everyone. Just like I always say that our term for this chapter here is living safety. We want to take safety to the grassroots. Let's not just always discuss it within ourselves. We want to take it right to the homes, to the less privileged, people that are not opportune to know what it is that we know, so that we can avoid incidents to happen and fatal incidents too. So that's just the essence of why we are always doing this. Thank you once again. I appreciate you all.
President certificate of recognition presentation.
Okay, for that, I will be sending it to Iman personally.
But let somebody share it and express it like we used to do here, please. Gabriel was to do that.
So do you have it here?
Yeah, Mr. Bankole is having it, I guess. Since then we can proceed. President, you can close and then we can close.
I have done that already. I'll just thank everyone. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you all so much for the opportunity, and look forward to, connecting and collaborating with everybody that was here, part of Bise, and I hope that we can be able to, make a difference in our, small ways. So.
Thank you,
Don't forget,
Emmanuel.
check your calendar and block it too. Check your calendar, Emmanuel.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. We appreciate, and thanks to everyone.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Done, thanks. Solu, thank you. Mr. Banky, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for thanking us and thank you for being there. Okay, gentlemen and ladies.
Thank you, sir.
I waited for the certificate presentation, but never happened.
That's what we're calling you now, because it appears that we didn't share it with you, or sorry for the mix-up. Next time we get it done.
Yeah,
President, it's always
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Nice weekend.